Hello, and a very special good day to you wherever you may be. Well, we know it's been a little while since we came out with our last video, and Gabriel and I just want to say sorry for that. We've just been caught up with other holiday things recently, but today we've got a nice, fun back to basics baseball video for you. So Gabriel's going to explain what we're doing.
So today we're going to be telling you who we think were the best players from each team in the MLB in 2021. So basically the player who had the best season for each team in 2021. We're going to go through all 30 teams. I got my stat sheet right here. Sorry it's been a while. We took a little break for Thanksgiving, but it's Christmas time, so we're going to be uploading our Christmas special soon. So yeah, let's get right into it. Starting it off with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and their player was Ketel Marte. Now, there weren't a lot of great players on the Diamondbacks in 2021, but I think Ketel Marte kind of stood out. In 90 games, he hit 14 homers with 29 doubles, which is very good for 90 games, a triple with 50 RBIs, and a 318 average with a 909 OPS and a 143 OPS plus. He kind of stepped up, and now he's kind of the captain of that team, as Zach Gallen was kind of disappointing, and Madison Bumgarner wasn't very good either. So yeah, he's going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks' best player. Now, for the Atlanta Braves, I could have gone Freddie Freeman, I could have gone Max Fried, but of course, I'm going to go with Austin Riley. Austin Riley had a great breakout season in 2021. In 160 games, he hit 33 homers with 33 doubles, a triple and 107 RBIs, a 303 average with an 898 OPS and a 132 OPS plus. He really broke out, and he kind of carried that Braves team to win the World Series, and he was the best player on that team in 2021. Now at the Baltimore Orioles, it was pretty obvious, and that's going to be Cedric Mullins. Cedric Mullins, another breakout star in 2021. In 159 games, he hit 30 homers with 37 doubles, 5 triples, and 59 RBIs. Of course, those 59 RBIs aren't a lot. That's because he really had no protection in that Orioles lineup. A 291 average with an 878 OPS and a 135 OPS plus. I believe he was the first Oriole ever to have a 30-30, 30 home run, 30 stolen base season. So, yeah, he's going to be the best player on that team from 2021. Now for the Boston Red Sox, it's going to be Rafi Big Scoops Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers, in 156 games, he hit 38 homers with 37 doubles, 1 triple, and 113 RBIs, a 279 average with an 890 OPS and a 132 OPS plus. Of course, he's got that good power left-hand swing. And yeah, he hit that big home run in the last game of the season against the Nationals to basically propel the Red Sox to the playoffs. And unfortunately, they did beat the Rays in the ALDS, but they went to the ALCS. And yeah, so he's going to be the best player on that Red Sox team. Now moving on to the Chicago Cubs. This was kind of the hardest team to pick because Frank Schwindel, he didn't play enough games, even though he was very good in the games he played. And Wilson Contreras didn't have a very good season. And then Baez, Rizzo, and Bryant all just played half of a season. But, so did Craig Kimbrell, but I guess I'm going to pick him. Craig Kimbrell kind of had a comeback season in 63 games, splitting him between the Cubs and the White Sox. He was 4-5 with a 2.26 ERA, a 0.905 WHIP, 100 strikeouts, and 24 saves. Of course, he was pretty bad with the Cubs in 2019. Well, actually, very bad with the Cubs in 2019 and 2020. But yeah, I think he's going to be a great piece in that Chicago White Sox bullpen for a long time. So yeah, he was the best player on the Cubs. Now, over to the south side of Chicago for the White Sox, I'm going with Carlos Rodon. The White Sox had a lot of great players in 2021. Of course, they had the pitching, Lance Lynn, and Dylan Cease also had a great year, Lucas Giolito. And they also had some hitters with Jose Abreu and Luis Robert, Tim Anderson, but I went with Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon pitched 24 games with a 13-5 record with a 2.37 ERA, a 0.957 WHIP, 185 strikeouts, and 132 and 2/3 innings pitched. I believe he was one of the only pitchers in the league who really wasn't cheating. And yeah, he was great otherwise. And of course, he had that injury like towards the middle of the year, which kind of, he was a Cy Young candidate, but then that injury kind of didn't really help. So yeah, but Carlos Rodon, he's going to be the best player on the White Sox. Now moving on to the Cincinnati Reds, it's going to be Nick Castellanos. I could have gone with Joey Votto. I could have gone with Jesse Winker, but he did kind of fall off towards the end of the year. But I went with Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos, in 138 games, he hit 34 homers with 38 doubles, 1 triple, and 100 RBIs, a 309 average with a 939 OPS and a 136 OPS plus. He definitely carried that Reds offense when guys like Eugenio Suarez were not having very great seasons. And yeah, the pitching wasn't too great on that team either, as Luis Castillo had a solid season. He was just really bad at the beginning, and Sonny Gray wasn't his best. But yeah, Nick Castellanos will be the best player on the Cincinnati Reds. Now moving on to the other Ohio team, the Cleveland Indians, that's going to be without a doubt Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez was like the only guy besides maybe Franmil Reyes who was really performing well on that Indians team. In 152 games, he hit 36 homers with 32 doubles, 5 triples, and 103 RBIs. A 266 average is very low. Well, not very, but it's pretty low for Jose Ramirez. But an 893 OPS and a 141 OPS plus kind of saved his season. And yeah, Jose Ramirez, he's always an MVP candidate, and he was the best player in the Cleveland Indians. Now, moving on to the Colorado Rockies, this one's a bit of a surprise. It's C.J. Cron. You would think it would be Trevor Story, but Trevor Story did not have a great season, and none of the pitchers really did anything besides German Marquez, but I went with C.J. Cron. In 142 games, he hit 28 homers with 31 doubles, a triple, and 92 RBIs, a 281 average with a 905 OPS and a 130 OPS plus. I do think if you get him out of Colorado, he might not hit as well as he did in Coors Field, as it is with a lot of other guys, but still, even with the Coors effect, he had a really, really good season. I don't think a lot of people expected him to be this good. So yeah, he's going to be the best player on the Colorado Rockies. Now finishing out the first card, it's going to be the Detroit Tigers, and that player will be Casey Mize. The Detroit Tigers were a weird team. They were not solid during the first half, but in the second half they were really good. And I could have gone with a lot of guys. I could have gone Jeimer Candelario. I could have gone Gregory Soto, but I went with Casey Mize. Casey Mize in 30 games, he was 7-9 with a 3.71 ERA, a 1.137 WHIP, 118 strikeouts, and 150 in a third innings pitched. He's one of the best up-and-coming young pitchers in baseball, and I think he was the best player on the Detroit Tigers in 2021. So we'll move this card out of the way. Now let's get to the second card right here. Now starting off the second card, that's the Houston Astros. That's going to be Kyle Tucker. I could have gone Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, Luis Garcia. I could have gone a lot of guys, but I went with Kyle Tucker, who had a great breakout season in 2021. In 140 games, he hit 30 homers with 37 doubles, 3 triples, and 92 RBIs, a 294 average, a 917 OPS, and a 147 OPS plus. Those are great numbers for Kyle Tucker, one of the best outfielders in baseball in 2021, along with solid defense and pretty good speed. So yeah, Kyle Tucker, he is the best player on the Houston Astros from 2021. Now moving on to the Kansas City Royals. This one wasn't very close at all. It's Salvador Perez. So Salvador Perez in 2021 was a monster. In 161 games, he hit 48 homers with 24 doubles, 0 triples, and 121 RBIs, a 273 average with an 859 OPS and a 126 OPS plus. Those are very, very solid numbers for a catcher. I believe he did break the home run mark in a single season for catchers. So Salvador Perez, he's a great hitter. He's getting a little shaky on defense, but he's a great hitter, and he was the best player on the Royals in 2021. Now for the Los Angeles Angels, This was a no-brainer, unanimous MVP Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani in 155 games, he hit 46 homers with 26 doubles, a league-leading 8 triples, and 100 RBIs. 257 average is a little bit low, but a 965 OPS and a 158 OPS plus are great. And also, he's a great pitcher, too. He went 9-2 with a 3.18 ERA, so great season out of Shohei Ohtani. One of the best seasons I think we've seen in the past 10 years. I mean, the combination of hitting and pitching at such a great level, that's really mind-blowing. So Shohei Ohtani, the best player in the Los Angeles Angels by far in 2021. Now for the Los Angeles Dodgers, we're reaching the halfway mark. So for the Los Angeles Dodgers, I could have gone with a lot of guys. Max Muncy had a great year along with Walker Buehler, but I went with Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer pitched 30 games for the Nationals and the Dodgers, and he went 15-4 with a 2.46 ERA and a 0.864 WHIP, which led the league, and 236 strikeouts and 179 and a third innings pitched. Max Scherzer, great year, being the typical Max Scherzer of every year. And yeah, I think the Dodgers will definitely hold on to him this offseason. I hope they do, because he pitches great out there in LA. And now, moving on to the Miami Marlins, it's going to be rookie pitcher Trevor Rogers. Trevor Rogers in 25 games in 2021 was 7-8 with a 2.64 ERA, a 1.150 WHIP, and 157 strikeouts and 133 innings pitched. He finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting in the National League, only to Jonathan India. And yeah, Trevor Rogers, a great left-handed pitcher with great stuff for the Marlins, and I think he's going to be a bright star in the future. Now moving on to the Milwaukee Brewers, it's going to be their new ace, Corbin Burnes. Corbin Burnes won the National League Cy Young Award, and in 28 games, he was 11-5 with a 2.43 ERA, 0.940 WHIP, 234 strikeouts, and 167 innings pitched on that great Milwaukee team with great hitting, great pitching, awesome bullpen. He really stepped up as their guy in 2021. As we saw glimpses of him being really good in 2020, well, he became even better in 2021, and he's a Cy Young winner. So now, moving on to the final M team, that's going to be the Minnesota Twins, and that's going to be Jorge Polanco. Jorge Polanco had a great season in 2021, much like his 2019 season. In 152 games, he hit 33 homers with 35 doubles, 2 triples, and 98 RBIs, a 269 average with an 826 OPS and a 125 OPS plus. A great year from Jorge Polanco at the shortstop position, and he's going to be the Minnesota Twins' best player in 2021. Now let me scoot this up a little bit. And now moving on to the New York Mets, this is just a little bit of a cheat, but I mean Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom was having one of the best, well, probably the best start to a season we've ever seen in baseball history, but unfortunately he did get hurt, but I'm still going to choose him for the New York Mets' best player in 2021. In 15 games, he was 7-2 with a 1.08 ERA, a 0.554 WHIP, and 146 strikeouts and 92 innings pitched. Now, he was probably cheating towards the beginning of the year, but still, those are insane numbers, like challenging Bob Gibson in 1968. Just unfortunately, he did get injured, but I still think he is the best player on the New York Mets in 2021. Now moving on to I kind of just revealed the next two there. But moving on to the New York Yankees, it's going to be Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge really proved himself to be one of the best young players in baseball again in 2021. In 148 games, finally he played a full season. He had 39 homers with 24 doubles, 0 triples, and 98 RBIs. A 287 average with a 916 OPS and a 149 OPS plus. Combine those crazy hitting stats with his amazing fielding and his great speed. Well, not great, but good speed. he's one of the best. Probably I'd consider him a five-tool player in baseball. So Aaron Judge, great player. He's the best player on the New York Yankees from 2021. And I already kind of revealed it, but for the Oakland Athletics, it's going to be Matt Olson. Matt Olson, in 156 games, played a full season, which is great for him. He had 39 home runs with 35 doubles, 0 triples, and 111 RBIs, a 271 average with a 911 OPS and a 153 OPS plus. One of the best first basemen in the league, both offensively and defensively. He has that smooth left-handed swing, and he was the best player on the Oakland A's in 2021. So now, moving on to the third and final card. Right here, starting it off with the Philadelphia Phillies, it's going to be the National League MVP, Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper had a great season in 2021. In 141 games, he had 35 homers with 42 doubles, a triple, and 84 RBIs, a 309 average with a 1044 OPS, which led the league, and a 179 OPS plus, which I also believe led the league, as those are just crazy numbers from Bryce Harper. Finally raised the average, as that's kind of up and down. He proved himself to be not overrated anymore. He's probably underrated at this point, just because a lot of people say he's overrated. So Bryce Harper, he was by far the best player on the Philadelphia Phillies in 2021. Now moving on to the Pittsburgh Pirates, kind of a no-brainer. It was Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds had a great year in 2021 after kind of a bad 2020, but a great 2019. So he's kind of up and down, but a great year in 2021. 159 games, he had 24 homers with 35 doubles, 8 triples, which was tied with Ohtani to lead the league, with 90 RBIs, a 302 average with a 912 OPS, and a 146 OPS plus. Of course, he's a switch hitter with good speed in the outfield. He's pretty solid defensively, but yeah, Brian Reynolds, he excels at getting walks. He does strike out a little bit, but he does walk a lot too. So Brian Reynolds, he's going to be the best player from the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2021. Now moving on to probably the disappointment of the 2021 season, the San Diego Padres, it's Fernando Tatis Jr. Fernando Tatis Jr. was definitely not a disappointment on that team, as in 130 games, he finished second in the MVP voting. He hit 42 homers with 31 doubles, 0 triples, which is a little bit surprising considering he's really fast, but 97 RBIs, a 282 average with a 975 OPS and a 166 OPS plus. Great numbers. And Tatis really proved himself to be the best shortstop in baseball, over Corey Seager, over Tim Anderson, over Bo Bichette, over Francisco Lindor, over Trevor Story, over all those guys. He's way better. And yeah, he's going to be the San Diego Padres' best player in 2021. So now moving on to the other Bay Area team, the San Francisco Giants. And I went with Brandon Belt. I think I could have gone Buster Posey, I could have gone Brandon Crawford, Kevin Gausman, Logan Webb, so many good players on that team, but I went with Brandon Belt because listen to these numbers. In 97 games, he had 29 homers with 14 doubles, 2 triples, and 59 RBIs, a 274 average with a 975 OPS and a 160 OPS plus. Great year out of Brandon Belt, his second great year in a row, proving himself to not be washed quite yet out there in San Francisco, as he is who I believe is the best player on that loaded Giants team in 2021. Now moving on to the Seattle Mariners, a lot of weird players on that team, but I went with Kendall Graveman. Kendall Graveman split his time between the Mariners and the Astros in 2021, and in 53 games he was 5-1 with a 1.77 ERA, a 0.982 whip, a 61 strikeouts, and 10 saves. He kind of broke out because he wasn't the greatest pitcher before, but he broke out with the Mariners this year, and he is who I believe is He is who I believe the best player on the Mariners in 2021. Now moving on to the final S team, the St. Louis Cardinals, I went with Tyler O'Neill, Probably a little bit of a surprise, but Tyler O'Neill was great in 2021. In 138 games, of course, he had that great month of September. He blasted 34 homers with 26 doubles, 2 triples, and 80 RBIs, a 286 average with a 912 OPS and a 150 OPS plus. He's a 5-tool player. He has amazing speed, great defense out in the outfield, and he is the best player on the St. Louis Cardinals from 2021. Now moving on to my favorite team, the Tampa Bay Rays. I could have gone Randy Arozarena. I could have gone a lot of different players, but I picked Brandon Lau. Brandon Lau in 149 games, he was an under-the-radar kind of guy. He hit 39 homers with 31 doubles, 0 triples, and 99 RBIs. A 247 average is pretty low, but an 863 OPS and a 142 OPS plus, those numbers are very, very good. He was not too great towards the beginning of the season, but he really shaped up in the second half, and he became the Tampa Bay Rays' best player in 2021. Now for the third final team, the Texas Rangers. This team is just so bad. I couldn't pick Kyle Gibson because he really didn't pitch a full season, and he wasn't, amazing with them anyway. And Adolis Garcia, while he was great in the first half, he was terrible in the second half, so I guess I kind of had to cheat and go with Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo split his season between the Rangers and the Yankees, and he hit in 153 games, he hit 38 homers with 13 doubles, not very good, 1 triple and 77 RBIs, an abysmal 199 average, see what I'm working with here, an 808 OPS and a 122 OPS plus. He was having a great season with the Rangers, but when he moved to the Yankees, he wasn't doing so hot, and I think when his beard got shaved, it took away all his monster hitting powers. So he's gonna come in as the Rangers' best player in 2021. Now for the second final team, it's the Toronto Blue Jays, and on that loaded offense, I had to pick one player, and it was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy, in 161 games, he hit 48 homers, which tied for leading the league with Salvador Perez, 29 doubles, 1 triple, and 111 RBIs, a 311 average, a 1002 OPS, and a 169 OPS plus. A great, great season out of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's a breakout star. He's going to have so much power. I predicted it at the start of the season. I said he lost weight, so he would be a monster in 2021, and I knew it. He was an MVP candidate, finished second in the AL, and yeah, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he's the best player from the Toronto Blue Jays in 2021. And now for the final team of the video, the Washington Nationals, I'm going with Juan Soto, the hitting king himself. Juan Soto, one of the most patient players in baseball, if not the most patient player in baseball. In 151 games, he hit 29 homers with 20 doubles, 2 triples, and 95 RBIs, a 313 average with a 999 OPS and a 175 OPS plus. He walked more than he struck out for the fourth season in a row. He's walked in more than he struck out for his whole entire career. He has a great eye. He does not strike out, and he has a smooth left-handed swing. And he is the best player on the Washington Nationals in 2021. I'm finally done talking.
Thank you all so much for watching. As always, we hope everyone's having a great start to your holiday season. And again, sorry it's been a little while since we've been here, but as Gabriel promised, we're going to be doing a bunch of these over the holidays this year. So enjoy the start to your holiday season. We'll see you all soon. Thanks.